Alright, hello 5th grade. Today is day 44 of our video lessons. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe and staying healthy. Today will be kind of a short video because you do have a math quiz today, and I will show you on how you need to complete that, okay? But again, please be sure that you are completing all your Seesaw assignments. If you have any trouble logging in, please let me know. If you have any other questions, please let me know. But those Seesaw assignments need to be completed for my class, okay? I think that's all I have. Again, if you have any questions, please send me a message on Remind. This is your warm-up. Go ahead and pause the video and get started. Okay, so hopefully you were able to solve them. This is pretty much what you're going to be doing today for your math quiz. You're going to have some multiplication problems, and we'll go over some examples in a little bit. But for now, I have this right here. 1 whole and 1 over 2 minus 3 over 4. Well, again, remember, like I told you, one way you can do this is if you switch your mixed numbers. So for example, this one into an improper fraction. And the way we do that is we have to multiply our denominator times our whole number. So 2 times 1, that equals 2. And then we're going to add our numerator. So 2 plus 1 is going to be 3. Over 2, our denominator does not change. Now, one thing I do want to remind you all is that, remember, in order to get an improper fraction from a mixed number, you have to multiply your denominator and your whole number, okay? So 2 times 1, and that's going to be 2. Now, the next step is going to be, you're going to have to add your numerator. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3, okay? And then, well, this is not a mixed number, so it stays the same. So now I have that 3 over 2 minus 3 over 4. I'm going to go ahead and do that, finish it here. And the reason, everybody, I like doing it this way is because this is something that's pretty easy now. At this point, all we need to do is just find our least common denominator. Remember? Least common denominator. So I have 2, I have 4. So let's skip count by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. All right, then let's skip count by 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. We'll stop right there. All right, so what numbers do they have in common? They have a 4 in common. They have an 8 in common. They have a 12 in common. They have a 16 in common. They have a 20 in common. But which one is it going to be if we are looking for my least common denominator? Exactly, the 4. That is the first number that comes up. That's another way you can think about it, everybody. The first number that comes up that you see that they share, that's the least common denominator, okay? I'm going to say that. I'm going to repeat it. The first number that you see that they share, that will be your least common denominator, okay? Your least, the one that's less. So in this case, it's 4. So how do I multiply this 2 to become a 4? 2 times what will give me 4? Exactly, 2. So 3 times 2, 6. 2 times 2, 4. And that's it. What about this 4? How can I multiply this 4 to become a 4? Well, it already is, so we don't need to do anything to it. So now I have 6 over 4 minus 3 over 4. My denominators are the same, so I could go ahead and subtract. 6 minus 3, 3 over 4. So my answer is 3 over 4. All right, simple. Now let's go ahead and do the next one. I have 10 over 9 minus 1 over 2. Okay, well, this one, I don't have any mixed numbers, so all I need to do is just find my least common denominator, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. Now, I'm going to repeat it, everybody. You have multiple ways of finding your answer. This is just one way. I would like for you all to explore different ways you can solve these questions. So, least common denominator. I have 9. I have 2. So let's skip count. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54. I'll stop right there. And then I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and I'll stop right there. So what number do they have in common, everybody? Yeah, they share this 18 in common. Anything else? Nope. So that's it. That's our least common denominator, 18. So we have to ask ourselves, how can I multiply this 9 to become an 18? 9 times what number will give me 18? Exactly, 2. 10 times 2, 20. 9 times 2, 18. Alright, now let's go ahead and do the same for this one. 2 times one number will give me 18. Yeah, exactly. 9, same thing, right? 1 times 9, 9. 2 times 9, 18. 20 minus 9, that is 11 over 18. And look, my denominators are the same, so I went ahead and subtracted. So that's my final answer, 11 over 18. Okay, now let's go ahead and do this one. 2 and 1/2 minus 1. Now, what you can do, everybody, what you can do is you can try and switch this into an improper fraction. But look, here I just have a whole number minus a whole number. I mean a mixed fraction minus a whole number. So I can just go ahead and subtract these two whole numbers. 2 minus 1, 1. And then I don't have to subtract any fraction from this one, right? So it's just 1/2. Okay? So again, like I said, you have different ways of solving these fractions equations. And the way that I'm showing you is just the way that I think it's best. But you can solve it however method you think works best for you, okay? But now let's go ahead and solve this one. 1 over 2 minus 1 over 10. So I'm going to go ahead and do it here again. I have 1 over 2 minus 1 over 10. Okay. So again, let's find our least common denominator. I have 2 and then I have 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 14. And skip count by 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, and we'll stop right there. What numbers do they have in common? What numbers do they share? Exactly, the 10. And the 20. But if I'm looking for my least common denominator, everybody, what's going to be my LCD, my least? Well, like I said before, it's a number that they share first, and that number is 10. So my least common denominator is 10. All right? Cool. So let's go ahead and multiply. 2 times what number will give me 10? Yep, 5. 1 times 5, 5. 2 times 5, 10. Now this one, what number will give me 10? 10 times what number will give me 10? Well, it's already a 10. I don't need to do anything to it. And now look, I have denominators that are the same. I can go ahead and subtract. 5 minus 1, 4 over 10. That is my final answer. 4 over 10. All right, and that's it. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna go over a few things that I think you should know for your quiz, and we'll move on to science, okay? So, one thing you should definitely know is how to switch mixed fractions into improper fractions, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and rewrite this right here bigger. And I'm just gonna show you what you need to do, okay? Because this right here is called a mixed fraction, a mixed number. Mixed number, or it's also called a mixed fraction. Same thing. The point is that it's mixed, right? You have a whole number and then you have a fraction. It's mixed. We want to switch that into an improper fraction. An improper fraction. So what do we need to do? Well, pay attention, okay? You have to multiply your denominator by your whole number. So 10 times 1, that gives me 10, right? And I like to put this little multiplication sign just so I know that I'm multiplying them. 10 times 1 is 10. And then I need to add whatever I got from here, so my product from these two numbers, I need to add that to my numerator. So 10 plus 1 is going to give me 11, and then my denominator does not change. Okay, so my answer as an improper fraction is 11 over 10, okay? So let's just summarize what we did. I multiplied my denominator times my whole number. I got 10, and then I added 10 plus 1, and then that's how I got 11, and then my denominator stays the same, okay? And remember, where is all this stuff coming from? How do I know that this is correct? Well, remember, we started off slow when we first started doing fractions. Remember, we used to draw it, and you know what? I'll just draw it up here. If I have one whole number, that means I have 10 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that means that all of them are going to be filled in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I also have another piece that has 10 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And in this one, I only have 1 over 10, okay? And so look, how many do I have in total that are shaded in? Well, let's count the purple. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 shaded in. And then there's 10 pieces in each box, okay? So it's 11 out of 10. So remember, that's how I got this. But except now we're not doing the whole drawing thing anymore. Because we're 5th graders now, we're using this method here called the horseshoe method, okay? So now, well, let's do the opposite. We have an improper fraction now, 11 over 10. Well, now let's switch that into a mixed number. Okay, let's switch that into a mixed number. Because this right here is an improper fraction. Improper fraction. Let's change that into a mixed number. And remember, like I said everybody before, a fraction is kind of like a division problem. It's its own small division problem. And we have to divide them in order to find what the mixed number is. So I have 10 over 11. Okay, remember, your numerator is going to go inside. And like I said yesterday and during our Zoom meeting, is if I have that a fraction, all I do is I just drop my numerator And then that is how I set up my division problem. See? So, how many times does a 10 go into an 11? 1 time. 10 times 1, 10. 11 minus 10, 1. Do I have a number to drop? No. Does 10 go into 1? No, so I'm finished. And so, your whole number, your big number, as I call it, it's going to be this one on top. Let me scoot it down. Your numerator is going to be your remainder, so 1. And your denominator is going to be the same thing. That one doesn't change. It's the number on the outside, okay? So 11 over 10 as a mixed number is 1 whole and 1 over 10. And that makes sense, right? That's what we did. That's the answer that we got before. Okay? So this technique of switching mixed numbers into improper fractions and the other way around, it's going to be very important for your quiz today, okay? I'm going to do one more example, and then we'll move on to science. So let's say that I had 1 whole and 2 fourths. Or you know what? Let's do 2 wholes and 2 fourths times, I'm going to multiply now, times 1/8. Okay. So again, same thing. Even though this is a multiplication problem, let's switch my mixed numbers into an improper fraction, okay? So hopefully we got some practice before, and hopefully we're all able to understand. Hopefully you're all able to understand it. Go ahead and switch this fraction into an improper fraction. Okay. So I need to multiply 4 times 2. That's going to give me 8. Then I add 8 to my numerator, so that's 10. So it's 10 over 4. All right. Next, let's go ahead and drop these guys. And now, remember, when you're multiplying your denominators, it doesn't matter if they're different. You could just go ahead and multiply them normally, okay? So I have 10 times 1 over 4 times 8. So I have 10 times 1, that's 10. 4 times 8, that's 32. So this is my answer. All right? Simple. Now, I know what you might be thinking, oh, Mr. Giannis, how do we know if it's an improper fraction? And how do we know if we need to divide? If your answer is an improper fraction, you could switch it to a mixed number. But in this case, it's not an improper fraction. It's a regular fraction, right? Our numerator is less than our denominator, okay? This is a regular, normal, proper fraction, okay? It's an improper fraction. It's an improper fraction if your numerator is greater than your denominator, okay? But in this case, we have a normal number, a normal fraction, okay? So this is what you're going to be doing for your quiz. Now, let me just show you how to access it. So this is 5th grade, right? You go to the activities, and then this is your quiz, okay? One thing, and hopefully you have all done this, but you can actually, I record my instructions. So let's see. Oh, for this one, if you play instructions, if you click this button here, you can hear me talk. Hello, 5th grade. Hopefully you have watched our YouTube video for today. You see? So I'm going to add it to this one, but it's the same thing. I have it written down, and then I'm also going to record it so you can just play it and hear me give you the directions, okay? But anyways, this is your quiz, okay? Some word problems in there. And then also please note how I want you to leave your answer. So for example, number 1, it says leave your answer as an improper fraction, okay? Number 2, leave your answer as a mixed number, okay? Number 3, leave your answer as a mixed number. Number 4, leave your answer as a mixed number. And then number 5, leave your answer as an improper fraction, okay? So listen to those directions, read those directions carefully, and when you do the problem, please be sure that you are writing neat, okay? If you're going to use a paper, be sure that you're writing neat. Otherwise, I will not be able to read it and I will not be able to grade it. And also, like I said here, please show your work and put a box around your answer so I know what your answer is, right? But that's it for your math. You don't have any seesaw assignments today for science. Instead, you're going to start reading your new unit. So yesterday, you're supposed to take the test for this one, week 1, Earth Space Science. Now we're on week 2, Earth Space Science, Shaping the Earth. So you click on it, it should look like this. Okay. And you're just gonna go ahead and read all of the article. Okay, you're gonna read the whole article. All right, but that's it, everybody. Again, you don't have any seesaw assignments for science, but you do have a seesaw assignment, a quiz for math. Okay, this one. That's it, everybody. Zooming in at 1 o'clock. Have a great day.